Well, hey y'all, welcome back to my mess. This is kind of a continuation almost from yesterday. It is the next day. If you watched the last video, you see we built this GMC. She's sitting here drying. I still had some other things I had to do to it. So I got the drive shafts in this morning. So that's ready to go. Now all I have to do is just paint this and decide if I'm putting a trailer hitch on it, and then she's done and we'll park her over there with the rest of them. Today I want to, like I was saying yesterday, I want to do some swapping. I want to do something a little different. I'm going to take the GMC and we're going to put it on the other GMC chassis. As you can see, we're going to have to shorten it, which is a lot better than making it longer. So this ought to be a lot easier. It's going to require cutting all the running boards off. Then we got to cut these big fender wells off. We got a couple of pins here to get rid of. And then I got to come back here and cut these risers above the tires on both sides. We need to cut both of those off. So that's going to take a little while to cut. I might have to let it cool down a little while in between cuts because this is going to get super hot. So I got to cut all this stuff and then I will be back and show you what we're doing. Alright y'all, we got a lot of cutting and hacking done. As you can see, I cut a lot of parts off of this chassis already. There's really not much left of the front of it, really, honestly. So I've just about got this ready to go. This she's going to set just about like so. And then I still haven't determined if we're going to jack it up a little bit or let it ride stock height. I don't know. We're still determining that. Haven't made it that far in the build yet. So, got that set. Now, before I go any further, I need to finish up this cab. And I want to show you what I'm doing with it. I originally painted the interior of this, painted the dash black, and then I painted the seats kind of a leather, my new leather look. But for some reason, I just didn't like them in there. I thought this was going to be more of a work truck, so I didn't think it should have leather seats. So we deleted that. So I took the interior out of that Pan Am truck, and I put it in there. So now we're all black. The other issue is this truck came with smoked windows. And I don't know. I just don't like the windshields being smoked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack this baby in half, and we're going to leave the back window smoked, or maybe change it, but I think we're just going to leave the back window smoked, and then I have a donor windshield that will stick in. It's nice and clear. So I got to do that yet, and I'm going to make this into a GMC for the mostly because my eyes aren't that good, but I'm thinking that says GMC on those wheels. Like I said, I may be wrong, but I'm going with it does. So we're just going to turn this into a GMC, and I just so happen to have a donor blazer here. Has a nice chrome front end, nice chrome front bumper. Does have a nice chrome rear bumper, but this is a dually. We'll probably go with something different, like a nice step bumper. I just had to dig one out of the box somewhere. So that is what I'm doing with that. I still got to do some cutting on the back. I got to cut this to where it's straight. These mud flaps have to go because my bed won't fit on there with them on there. As you can see, this as wide as the base is, that barely fits inside the bed of my truck. So anything wider than that has to go. So the mud flaps are leaving on both sides. So that is next. Alright, once I come back, she's just about going to be ready to start gluing back together. Oops. I forgot the music was on there. Okay, so I wanted to cut in real quick. I'm working on putting this cab back together. Like I said, this was a red dually. I just got this not too long ago. You can see a little bit of red on there where I had my hemos holding it together. There's a little bit of red there on the back too, but once this is together, you'll never see that. This was a red dually, and I just got this. I wasn't going to film, but I ended up deciding to do this anyway. It came with this ugly tan rack, ugly and tan interior. I painted all that, took all that out. That rack is still possibly going to go back in this truck, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I've got the window back in, I got the dash back in. I don't know if you can really tell that that is a tinted back window versus clear windshield now. I took the engine out of the Blazer because it looked a little hopped up, so we decided to put that engine in here. With this being the newer generation dually, the hoods open up all the way on them, so I was going to paint the interior black. I know it's a little dark for you to see. I was going to paint the inside of this engine bay black, but I decided to just leave it green. So now we are to the point that I decided I want to put a stick shift in this truck because it's going to be a work truck. And I thought I would show you real quick just how I do that. So I use my awl with a nice sharp point on the end of it. It's kind of crude, but if you guys get a lot of these Phillips head screwdrivers from M2 trucks, which I've had dozens of them. I've had so many I've given a bunch of them away. But what I did is I just ground the end of the screwdriver off and made me a nice awl that I use for a lot of stuff here. So what I'm going to do is right here on the transmission hump, I'm going to go as center as possible. And I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to stick it down in there and I'm just going to shove it. Now, I just pushed it all the way down in there. You may have to push it in there a little bit more to open up that hole, as you can see we just made. So now what we're going to do here now is I have one or two axles left over. You want to find a really short one. You don't want to use a long one because you may need a long one day down the road. So now I have my axle. Now it is way too long. Let's see if it'll even go in the hole. Nope, it doesn't go in the hole, so we just need to push my awl down in there a little bit more. I bump the camera. See, this is why I don't film me doing stuff, guys, because my big old hand, you can't see nothing anyway. So, got the hole opened up a little bit more. This should just drop right down in there, which is what we wanted. Get it down to what we think would look correct. And then you want to tip it back because when you push this back up in the truck, you don't want the dash to hit it. So that looks maybe a little high, but that don't look bad there. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue that in there and we'll cut the end of it off, and the ribs that are on the tire axle there, I'll just put a little dollop of white paint around there and make it look like a shift knob. So I just wanted to show you real quick how I do that. Alright, y'all, I'm back to try to finish this truck up. Little do you know, it's been like 5 days since I've touched this truck. Where are we at? We're almost ready for it to be finished. Just got a few minor touch-ups to do. We got a gear shift in there. It's looking pretty good. I screwed up on the passenger side and I got glue on the daggone door. It made me so mad. So this one is no longer going to leave. This one will stay in my collection forever. So anyway, I need to get these wheels and tires finished up and decide what my ride height is going to be. I've got this, I don't know, I call almost slammed look. I like the height of the front end. That looks good. But as for the back, I don't like that. I think that looks too low. So I'm thinking of, let's pull these wheels and tires off here real quick. Put it back together. So I'm considering that look, which, I don't know, I kind of like. I don't know if anybody else will, but I like that look. Or I can go full out and jack the whole thing up. Pull this together, pop that on. We can just jack up the whole thing, but the problem with that is the front end is way too high. I don't like, let me hold it a little better. I don't see a big gap through there. I don't like that, you know, so I don't really like that look, so I'm trying to determine on how to do that. And then plus, I just got word that my mirrors are finally on the way, so maybe I'll wait and finish this truck when I get the mirrors and decide there if I'm going to jack it up or leave it ride height. So that's where we are with that. I already got an engine in there, so we're getting along here. I've got all the pieces for the bumpers and the grill and everything. It's just a matter of getting them on there and finishing this truck. I had to make a quick power trip to North Carolina the other day, so I got me some wheels and tires while I was down there. And I got this old Dodge. I've got one of these already, but once I saw it, they had it jacked up, man, I had to have one like that. The Little Red Express custom job. So came with 2 extra people. I think I've already got these people from other trucks, so need to talk to M2 about putting out some more people instead of just painting their outfits, huh? That'd be cool. Anyway, I got this truck just because of that. And as you can see in the back, those are going to be in another video. I just wanted to tease you with them. So I'll be back. Hold tight. So I got her sitting here drying. You can pretty much see roughly ride height we went with. It's a little higher in the back, which is the way we like it. Little tip, if you want to make sure both sides of your truck come out evenly, use the same exact thickness of spacer and put them in the same spots. And this way, when it dries, everything should be nice and even. But another pro tip, always babysit it. Never walk away from it and let it dry overnight until you're completely sure it is set. I've had dozens of trucks I've had to break apart the next day because they didn't dry right. So while we're waiting on that to dry, you know me, I can't leave stuff well enough alone, so I've already broken into this van. I've changed the wheels and tires. I've changed and made longer axles on it. So these are the wheels and tires we're going to go with. One thing is kind of cool. You know, this van's got, you know, all these tinted windows. It's really hard to see in there. I'm going to show you that they did a pretty nice job on the detail on the interior. Got a real nice big TV in there. Looks like they all got their own storage pockets and speakers, and they got wood grain tabletops in there, real nice seats. Dash is all laid out. I mean, it's all stickers, but still, it looks real nice. Shame they hid it in that behind the windows, the tinted windows. So anyway, we got that together, and then we're going to stick this on here. Now what I need to do is I need to drop these wheels just ever so slightly, just to get them down just a tiny bit. So the only way to do that, I believe, is going to be take my Dremel and come across here and just cut where the tire axle goes. We're just going to cut that lower. So that is what we're doing with that van. Hopefully I can show you both finished trucks here shortly. Okay, we're ready to set the wheels and tires on this thing. I got the little platform set up there so it can sit and dry. What I basically did is I just ground down the inside of this so that I could fit my axle and tire in there, since what I did is I went wider with the tire. And I'm going to show you another cool thing I forgot to show you guys on this van. Comes with its own rotor and drum setup that goes inside. All 4 wheels have it. That's kind of a cool touch. Something you don't see very often. It'd be cool to reuse those, but you'd never see them inside the rims that we're going to use. So we're not going to even bother to use them. You can see the tire size difference that I'm putting on this van. That's obviously what was on it. And also what I'm doing is I'm widening it a little bit. You can see there how my wheels are going to be a little bit wider. These wheels were right up underneath the truck, and I didn't like that, so I wanted them to stick proud of the truck just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue those in there and then put this baby back together, and it should be done. Alright guys and gals, this video seems to be taking forever, and I still think my mirrors are a week out, so I'm not going to wait on mirrors to finish this video. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out. When my mirrors come, I'm going to do a how I do kind of putting mirrors on. I'm going to have a couple different styles for square bodies, and then I've got a couple different sets still for the Fords. So I'm probably just going to make a video of putting on mirrors, and then I'll show you this truck in that. But as of now, I'll show you what I've finished with it. Got the ride height and everything set. You see I got the front down so there's not such a big gap in there now. Back wheels are kind of like ride height, maybe a smidgen more, but looks pretty good, I think. I went with chrome bumpers just because the front grille was chrome. You can see I screwed up on the tail light. I need to touch that up, or not the tail light, one of the marker lights I screwed up. And then I already showed you this. I got glue on the door, so I screwed that up. I got the marker lights on the roof painted. I got the chrome grille, bumper, and all that in here. Still need to paint the bottom, but I'll get that later. I already showed you. I got a gear shift, stick shift in there. Kind of hard to tell, but you can see that how far back that is. See the little white dot on the dash? It still wasn't back far enough, so I had to push it back more when I put the dash back in there. So, like I said, when you're going to do a stick shift, you got to keep that thing pulled way back to the seat so that it doesn't get in the way. So, other than that truck is pretty much done. I already showed you the engine in it. So, and then show you something else. I screwed up. I should not have showed you this van in this video. This was supposed to wait for another video, but I've had this van and I've been working on that truck for almost 3 weeks. That's how long I've been dragging that thing out. I've had this van for almost 2, and I couldn't wait anymore, and I started messing with it because I was waiting on that one. But she's a roller now. This thing did not roll. You're going to see that in a different video because, like I said, you're not supposed to see this van yet. I screwed up. So you're going to see this in a different video, but you know, it rolls now. You can see that. I got it all set up. It's a really nice van that I got from across the pond, but I'm not really going to go into it in this video. 1, because this video is already getting too long, and 2, I've already done this in another video that you haven't seen yet. So anyway, hope y'all liked that. If you did, think about liking, subscribing. It's free to you. It really helps out the channel. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on eBay. I got a whole bunch of trucks over there listed for sale. All that information is listed in the description below. Don't forget to come back, y'all. Have a good day. Bye.